Alright, welcome to Barranco, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. This will be a very educational walk, alright, with my very capable cameraman, Ryan Alberto, alright, one of our firm young men in the community right now. So as we walk through, I will be talking and showing you stuff. This is Nettie's place, right? This is her little caboose. This is her business place. Actually, it's thatched with cocoon leaves and bamboo, local bamboo found around the area. You can come here and relax in the hammock and stuff like that and drink a beer or two and watch movies. That's what you can do. So as we move around, here is the center of the community. Right? These are examples of houses that are being built by Baranguna who are outside of Barranco. And this is the northern end of the village, but for right now we're going to focus on the southern end of the village. So we're going this way. And this area is locally known to us as our base out spot. Here is where young people would gather in late evenings and talk about the days and review the days and stuff like that. Or whatever sport they might get themselves involved in, they review it right here among themselves. And as you can see, the street, the constant use by the oil company vehicle has caused the street to really look like it's paved almost, but really it's dirt. And we're hoping that if they do strike oil around here, they will be able to pave this, and pretty soon Barranco will turn the city that it really is potentially. Alright, so we look now towards the eastern end of the community, the village. Right, cameraman, can you capture this end? Alright, and there we look at the Caribbean Sea. Right? Nice, beautiful weather today. Pretty hot though, right? And the police station is on this corner of the road. Let's go. This is one of the houses that has been used by residents. And by the way, we have electricity, 24 hours electricity. We have running water. And in the back, I'm not sure if you could get the back there, but let me just point out the tower. So we have communication. So communication, light, electricity, water, road. So Barranco has all that it takes to really turn into the city that it's designed for really. Let's go this way. Interestingly enough, this house right here is actually where Andy Palacio grew up. Can you capture this house? Andy Palacio actually grew up in this very house, and I think they're trying to do something to preserve it, and hopefully it can be used as a museum someday where it can showcase some of Andy's work that made him the prominent person he is. Okay. Another angle of the area we were chilling out at. This is something like a northwesterly view of it. This is another very important place here in Barranco. About 50, 60 years ago, they used to have a big store right here, but now it's 50, it's all gone. I could have my apple, please. How much one, children?
Yeah.
Alright, so here are my nieces, and actually my nieces really. They're like my second cousins, my cousins' children. Right, so pretty soon I'm going to be grandpa. Right, but I'm hoping to be at their graduation and make sure that they turn doctors so that they can take over this new city that is coming up out of Barranco. Thank you. Say bye, girls.
Bye.
Malay apple. And by the way, Malay apple, that's the real name. One of the sweetest fruit you could find in Barranco next to golden plum. Golden plum is sweeter though. This one is better though. How you take it? It's interesting, how Barranco has changed over the years. This used to be a creek, and as young kids we used to come to fish here with our little line and earthworm, and we tie it and we catch little fishes out of the little creek to go fish off the wharf, you know. It used to be very interesting. Used to play hide and seek, and there's also stories about this creek having one of the most vicious evil spirits. And children around here used to complain about seeing a man sitting on the edge of the culvert and that kind of thing. I think our parents used that to really control us from getting all over the place and straying like dogs. As we enter this area, there is the church area. I suppose that the church has a lot of used land, but the area that they're not using could have been used other ways. I think they could have used this to build something more prominent that could kind of like house a handicraft area in the village or something like that and get the place busy. I mean, we need some outlets where our children could learn some of the things that could be passed on from our elderly. As you know, Barranco, our elderly are dying out, and some of them die with weaving skills, with different kind of skills that we could have used. You know, so instead of being idle, we could have been making some hana and ruguma and those kind of things, baskets, boats, all right, sailboats, sewing sails and stuff like that. I think we could use this spot for that. I think I need to write a strong letter to the Pope. Over here. Can you video this now? This area of the village is a residential area. What has happened in the past is that people have abandoned where they live and migrated to elsewhere to kind of look for a job. And some of them do send money to clean their yards and stuff like that, but we are hoping that they will all come back, and hopefully Barranco will have the population it deserves so that we could lobby government to give us the things we need and deserve. This is the police station. As you are seeing, I'm munching on my Malay apple. This is the police station. And this is the park. Right. Let's get a good view of the sea area. There is where my aunt lives. This street leads to the wharf, but we're not going there right now. This is just a brief introduction of the village.
You can already feel the cool breeze.
Yeah. Everybody comes here to relax on a Sunday and enjoy the cool breeze, because right now it's pretty hot. We are in April, by the way. Alright? In the next few days is my birthday. Alright, so I'm happy to do this because my 37th birthday since I was born in Barranco back in 1975. So you see how old I'm getting. Right? I could tell you a lot about what's going on in the village. Out there is a fisherman. There's a little shed where everybody comes to relax. It's interesting. How things have changed a little bit. We have one of the most sophisticated tables. I think it was contributed to the community by the oil company. We thank them very much for that, so we could relax here sometimes. Alright. If you're a new lover, you bring your girlfriend here, you know, inspired by the sea, you would come up with lyrics, you know, and maybe sell her dreams that will work. Who knows? Alright. This is the sea area. Alright. And I'm happy to be able to introduce Barranco to you from this point of view. Alright, growing up here about, let me say about 1988 or thereabout, 1985-88, the land used to extend farther out into the sea. I could still remember that very clearly. As a little boy, my grandfather would send me out here to chop along with the older men, alright, to do fahina, what we call fahina. And so now what have happened in the past, the area has been eating out. Erosion has been a very serious situation here. Right? We're hoping that down the road something can be put in place so that this place can be seawalled, or something can be done to protect the eating of the coast. I think that would be something that is very urgent, because pretty soon the police station might end up in the sea. If you look over here, I can still remember we used to play football in front of this house. Dale lives in this house. Alright? Today we barely have like 10 meters away from the house and the coast. Right? That is just to show you how deadly this eating away of land is to Barranco. Right? there are a lot of there's a million ways to deal with it, but I think that if we choose one, which to me, the same idea of dumping the pier. Can you get a good look at here for me? So just because we cannot really zoom in, you see why I talk about getting a real camera, you could actually zoom in and see the picture of the wharf over there. If they would just dump something like that all the way to Legego mouth, and then they backfill it with sand and what have you, and do a reclamation project like what they do in Belize City, in front of Belize City. I think, and you don't need it that wide, you only need maybe about 25 meters, you know, out there, and lock it off. Alright, and that would be land for other people too. You could not for business people, and you could start pulling in tourism. You know what I mean? You put a nice little area where a dive shop, for example. You know, you could put another area where you could sell beers and cold stuff, or you could sell an area where you could sell lines and different things for fishing and stuff like that.
Sounds like a very nice suggestion.
Yeah, man, real deal. You know what I mean? And that's the reason why I believe that, you know, we need more documentation, and I'm sure that I'm going to put this on YouTube and put it on the internet. This is very important. This is Kevin's perspective. I want you to turn over this side, and I want you to look at that house. That house was actually built here by a white man, and his name is, I think, Jack. And he sold the house after building it for about $80,000 US, and somebody bought it. Right, it has a pool there. Inside the house is actually plastered. Right, so that's very interesting as well. Let me see. Yeah, I think we missed some stuff. Anyway, so I believe that we can do much more with Barranco. Barranco is potentially filled with something that could stand out in Barranco. I believe if you look at the science of it, if Belize City begins with a B, Belmopan begins with a B, then all cities should begin with B, then what happened to Barranco? That's just a question. Then, if you look across the border, we are about 15 miles away from Livingston, Guatemala, where our brothers and sisters live as well. And on the, let me see, about the northeast corner is Sarstoon. So we are at a very, very pivotal spot, if you call it that, because we are cornered by two big rivers. We have the Timash River and the Moho River. And if you ask anybody, where do you find a city? A city is always where? At the bank of a river, right? And the bank of a river is rich because it has soil deposits, all right, from water rundowns and stuff like that. So Barranco has rich deposit of soil. That's why you drop any seed anywhere here and it grows. All right, so Barranco is the place to be.
Yeah.